This is a mock interview conducted by ForumIAS Academy at New Delhi. The interview panel includes eminent academicians, retired bureaucrats, and other luminaries. The objective of the program is to acquaint the candidate with the format and expectations of the personality test conducted by UPSC.
May I come in, sir?
Yes, please come in.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Rajesh, please take your seat.
Thank you, sir.
Rajesh, please introduce yourself to the board.
So, my name is Rajesh Singh and I'm from Bangalore. My parents are from Rajasthan, a small district in Rajasthan called Jalore. And they have been there. My father has been in Bangalore for the last 40 years. He runs a wholesale garment shop. And my mother is a homemaker. Similarly, my brother runs the business now, and I've been preparing for UPSC civil service exam and CAPF exam for the last 1.5 to 2 years. I completed my entire education in Bangalore. I completed my graduation BBA Business Administration from Christ University, Bangalore, and then for last 2 years I have been a Mahatma Gandhi National Fellow from IIM Udaipur. So,
okay, Rajesh. You have mentioned that you did BBA from the Christ deemed to be a university.
Yes, sir.
What do you mean by deemed to be a university? How it is different from the normal regular university?
Sir, it was mainly regulatory, if I'm not wrong. I'm not exactly sure, but it was regulatory terms when UGC passed the law that nobody other than the government universities, mostly only some recognized universities can use only university. The other can give degree, but they'll always be called deemed to be university rather than university. It was mostly regulatory terms.
How this degree is different from the regular degrees?
No, sir, it is not different.
Yeah, okay. You have done BBA in marketing, finance, and human resource. What is the role of marketing in the growth of any business?
So it plays a significant role. I mean, to just the customers to know your product is the first basic prerequisite for them to purchase it. So, and in terms of any product or any services, the awareness or knowing your customer knows that your product exists itself is the first criteria for them to rather buy it later. So that is where it plays a very pivotal role.
How marketing is different from advertisement?
So advertisement is a part of a very small subset of marketing, whereas marketing is a whole entire, I would say, a field or a domain. Advertising is a part of it where you promote it through whether TV or social media or print media, where you advertise your product. Whereas marketing is an entire activities from deciding what campaigns to your pricing policies, where you're going to sell it. So marketing is a more holistic domain than advertising.
What are the key values which a human resource leader must have?
So any human resource, I mean, a manager or a leader must know their team. First, try to understand their team, of where they come from, what diverse backgrounds do they come from, what is their, I would say, to know each and every person of your team, or not even each and every person. In general, you must have an awareness about your team so that you can lead them. And for a human resource, is mostly into the selection and criteria for recruitment and training part of you, whereas a leader is a little more in the business activities, performing activities part of you. So a human resource is mostly if you are sitting, I would say if you're selecting your team, that is where it comes far better into picture, whether how much do you trust them, knowing about the things that you're going to do. And that is where human resource comes into the leadership part of it.
Among all the CAPFs, you have given priority to ITBP over the SSB. Why so?
So my priority was mostly on the terms of popularity. So I was ready to serve in any services, but then I had to. So I chose in terms of popularity that I knew, and SSB was the least popular for me personally. It was the least popular for me. I have very little idea about SSB.
So for you, CISF is the most popular CAPF.
In terms of the daily, I would say regularly I have seen CAPF much more than any other forces.
But you have given second priority to CRPF?
Yes, so CRPF also. I mean, CRPF and BSF are two other. Whenever.
But you have given priority to CISF.
Yes, sir. CASF is the most visible forces that I have been, so that is why it was more popular to me in personal.
In Rajasthan, where you saw CISF?
No, sir, I didn't see. I mean, in the airports, in the Udaipur airport and Jodhpur airport, I've seen CASF, but other than that, not.
Okay, other than airport, you did not saw.
I've not been in Rajasthan much, sir.
In Bangalore?
Bangalore airports, even though airports also now there were other private forces as well, but mostly it was CISF in the airports.
Okay. My last question to you is, which organization is responsible for maintaining the security of aviation sector?
Aviation sector.
Yeah.
So CISF is the
Security of aviations, not of airports, but as a whole.
I'm not aware, sir.
Okay, no issue. Thank you.
Rajesh,
Yes.
what is Six Sigma in quality management?
So Six Sigma quality management is mostly to detect defects in. So there are 2 percentages. If I exactly I don't recall it, but the 2 percentages is 0.99% and 0.95. So those are statistical connotations of detecting of quality management, of how much you can give leeway to it. So 0.99 will be the highest quality management, 0.95 will be a little lower quality.
Okay, so you have written here that sports analysis is your hobby, right?
Yes.
So what exactly is this, sports analysis?
So I've always been very passionate about sports, and then when the COVID pandemic came into picture, so I opened my own blog, and then I started writing, because that was the time that I got a lot of time to watch sports as well, after the pandemic was over as well. So, and then I opened my own blog. I'd written some articles on certain things that whatever I watched, and some got published as well. So that is why I had written sports analysis. I like talking about sports, analyzing them, what happened.
Okay, then what do you think? Should betting be legalized in India? Because especially, during sports season, when some sort of tournament starts, right? So there's a lot of advertisement on the TV of different platforms. So do you think should betting be legalized in India?
So I personally believe yes, it should be legalized, but in some way it should be regulated to the highest possible order. Because to be honest, sir, what I have seen in last 2 years, I've seen a lot of, I would say, focus on games that were not that important. Otherwise, the games would get, mostly very few games would get important. But because of the fantasy, which is kind of legalized, a subdued way of legalizing betting itself. So fantasy games have somewhat brought a lot of focus to games that were not that popular earlier. Like the test matches have become a lot more, like people are watching a lot of games, a lot of other games. Women cricket was one of the big reasons that I remember one article as well, where they said that fantasy cricket has played a big role in women's cricket as well. So that is where I feel it can be regulated, it can be legalized, but also it has to be regulated to a very highest possible.
Don't you think there could be some other way of, bringing such sports to the attention of the viewers?
Yes, sir. There are, I believe, yes, there are, but globally we have seen that somewhere this betting and fantasy sports globally have played a major role, whether in the US or Europe, and even in Australia. So that is not the only way, but somewhere the people who have grown, for example, I would not suggest that to children. For children, I think every child must indulge in one or some sport. Every child in every school, it should be a part of the curriculum. And children should be taken to games. Like if there is a test match in Bangalore, I would say schools should be given free tickets to test match. If there is a hockey game in Bangalore, they should be allowed. Recently, there was football's Intercontinental Cup in Bangalore. So those games, kids from school should be. So for kids, that is not the right way. But somebody who is 30, 35, who has grown up, for them betting can be one way to attract them to games.
Okay. Who is a libero in volleyball?
Who is it?
Libero.
I'm not aware.
Okay. What is Armed Forces Special Power Act, and do you think that this act has served its purpose of bringing peace to those disturbed areas?
So Armed Forces Special Powers Act is a very strict, stringent law which was passed in order to give armed forces the kind of liberty they can operate in militant or insurgency affected areas of especially Northeast and Jammu Kashmir. And to an extent, when the situation was very tense, if in the Jammu Kashmir in the 80s and the 90s, or in the Northeast prior to 60s, 70s, Nagaland, Manipur, in those times, I think it did serve its purpose to establish law and order and to establish kind of a rule of law. But in the present scenario, somewhere where places where peace has become a part of the daily life, I think Armed Forces Special Power Act has lost its, I would not say lost its significance, but it becomes too stringent for people who are even on the other side or on the law-abiding citizens. So it kind of pushes them away as well, not in favor of the state or in our countries.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, so you are residing in
Right now, I'm in Pali, Jodhpur, sir.
Jodhpur, but you are saying that you are residing in Bangalore.
No, sir, I'm a resident of Bangalore.
Okay, Bangalore or Bengaluru?
Bengaluru, sir.
Why it is called Bengaluru?
Sir, Bangalore was more a colonial name which was given to the Bengaluru. I would say like the Bombay of Mumbai or Madras of Chennai.
Previously it was Bengaluru or Bangalore?
It was Bengaluru, but the colonial legacy somewhere came around the Bangalore, and the World War II they used a torpedo as well, which was Bangalore. So they were very, I would say, a localized movement was there to rename it into Bengaluru. Because the earlier name was similar to Bendakaluru. So the Bendakaluru became Bengaluru.
All right. So over there, international airport is there, right?
Yes.
In Bengaluru? That is Kempegowda. Can you tell me who was Kempegowda?
So Kempegowda was a ruler who is considered to be the founder of modern Bengaluru in, I would say, 460 in the 17th century or 16th century. I'm not exactly able to recall, but he was the ruler of the who moved to Bengaluru and laid the foundation for modern Bengaluru.
Which dynasty he was belonging to?
I'm not really.
All right. Okay, so you have done business administration, bachelor in business administration. So why do you want to join CAPF, and what could be the possible role of management in CAPF?
So uniform services is something that I was always passionate about, and that was one of the big reasons.
But after that you have also, worked in 3 firms.
Yes, sir.
18 to 18, 21, then 21 to 21. Okay, for how much duration you have worked in these organizations?
So I've done a few pieces of internship in last 2.5, 3 years. So just to have basic experiences when I'm not doing it, because only study was very difficult for me personally after graduation. So that is why I wanted
You are also preparing for civil services exam, right?
Yes, sir. From last 1 year I've been.
So if you get selected in civil services exam, then what about CAPF dream?
Sir, I wanted to serve in the police forces, like the uniform service, and it was IPS as something that I've always wanted to be. But then when I got to know about armed police force services, I thought it as a big opportunity to explore.
Okay. So you have a hobby of blogging, and you are saying that you write sports related blogs. Yes. And you have a hobby of content writing also. Can you tell me what is the difference between blogging and simple content writing?
So blogging is mostly my personal experience or my personal opinion and thinking, what I'm thinking about certain things, what is my opinion about. Whereas content writing is mostly for other firms. So if they want me to write something for them, it is more similar, but it is more or less similar, but the major difference is for when I'm doing it for somebody else, that they want me to write content for them.
So blogging could be also done for somebody else. You could write blog for other websites also.
But
that will not called content writing.
It would be called, sir, but it would
basic difference. What is the basic difference between these two, blogging and content writing?
So content writing is more, I would say, a bigger phenomenon than blogging, because content writing can be for any source or any medium. I can write content for Twitter, I can write content for website, I can write content for Myntra, because these kind of content writing in very small space also content writing comes into.
What is the importance of keywords in blogging and content writing?
So keywords help in search engine optimization if there is a particular keyword which is popular for any website.
So while you are writing any particular content, do you also consider the keywords or ranking of that particular article in Google, Or while writing blogs only, you are considering keywords and SEO?
No, sir. It works both ways, like as you said, because if I'm writing if I'm writing any blog of my own ideas, then I would pick some keywords. Or the other way also, if there are some keywords, we can write around them as well.
So blogging is similar to diary writing, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then what is the basic difference between diary writing and blogging?
It's more online, I would say. Diary writing, you can do it more offline.
Okay. All right, sir.